Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. When you're tuned in, you're with Lady Business and Give It to the People Radio, where you're going to get enlightened, enhanced, empowered, and enriched. Make sure that you always tune in to Give It to the People Radio.
Look, I missed y'all. I hope you missed me as much as I missed you guys. So, it's She's a Penix Brown. I am back with another episode. My hair is doing what it wants to do today. It's like in a flyaway, just doing all the colors mode. Don't worry about that. But today we are back with another episode of Give It to the People Live. And I'm really excited because this person that I have on tonight, I've known for a while. She's quiet and calm and a very much, to me, an introvert. She might be an extrovert around other people, but she has the most calming way of making you want to buy her stuff. And that's such a good, just let you know, Give It to the People Live is a platform where we help to just get the word out about small businesses, to build a community, especially Black women-owned and minority-owned businesses.
Hey!
Yes. So a couple of things that happen at Give It to the People Live. When people say good stuff, so this is Tambourine.
Okay.
Tambourine.
Uh-huh.
Right. And whenever people say really good things, I have to pause them, honey, and we have to bring Tammy in because it's a good spirit. It's just resonating with us.
All right. Yeah, do it.
And then that helps people to get the point, because sometimes people, I think they may glaze over some things. So when you say some wonderful stuff, I'm going to go ahead and bring her out.
Okay,
But
cool.
since you jumped in and for some reason I was having technical difficulties,
No problem.
I want to let you introduce yourself this evening.
Okay, cool. So first of all, can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. Well, my name is Camilia Majette, and I'm the founder and CEO of Nyla Shea. And so Nyla Shea is an all-natural, holistic beauty and body care brand. We use only all-natural ingredients, certified ingredients, finest certified ingredients, and ethically sourced ingredients as often as possible, fair trade ingredients. So that I've been in business for going on. Can you hear me? I have a bit of an echo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have an echo on your side?
No, you sound fine over here.
Okay, cool. So I've been in business for about 7 years, and then actually officially in LLC 5 years.
Okay.
And I think that's about it, really.
Okay, first of all, that's not about it. That's the general, just the little tip of the iceberg. And since I've seen you speak at a bunch of things, I know a lot of stuff that maybe other people don't know about. But let's start. And for some reason, my phone is trying to do this dying thing, so I'm gonna have to run over there and get my plug and come right back.
Okay.
But let's start with your education first, because you're not doing what you went to school for. And I think, to me, that's an important factor, because sometimes you may want to do one thing and then your business takes you in a different direction. And I think personally, some people will be like, well, if you went to school to do this, why aren't you doing that kind of thing? So did you get like any blowback with what your degree is in, and then you decided, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to make natural ingredient products?
Yeah. Okay. So basically my backstory, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I have my undergraduate in journalism and mass communication with a concentration in broadcast production from North Carolina A&T. So I'm an Aggie alum. And I got my master's in health service administration, right? So I'm not really working so much in my career, with my degree at all too much. You know, now I see that I'm getting little pieces here and there I'm learning from school. But no, I took a different direction, definitely. When I was in school at North Carolina A&T, I worked a part-time job as a pharmacy technician. Okay. And yes, I was there as a pharmacy tech. And that's where I kind of got the background of, you know, learning more about how to make compounds out of ointments and creams, and dispensing medicine that way. And so I learned more of, like, you know, the pharmaceutical side. Yeah, not traditional, not like holistic,
but more Eastern,
right?
Eastern tradition.
Yeah, right. And so, you know, so from there, I decided, I was doing that for a while. I wanted to do something else. I really didn't like too much of what I was doing. The pay wasn't good either, right? So I started, working on something else. And then at that time I had my kids, and they started to develop skin conditions, eczema, eczema, very dry skin. So, I wanted to give them a more of a holistic way of healing their bodies as well, using natural ingredients. So I was doing some research on that too. So from there, that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to start making my own natural products. Right. And I started doing that. I started first with my shea butters, which was really easy. Not really easy, but somewhat easier than the soap making. Right. And then I just went to different products after that. I only really had like 3 at that time. Right.
So you started with 3 products.
Well, first I started with the shea butter. That was one, the whipped body butter. And then I went on to sugar scrubs, which was another fairly easier one, exfoliating. And then I went on to the soaps, which was pretty intimidating because of using the sodium hydroxide, the lye, and the water, because it can be toxic, right? So I did that last. Yeah. So I started from there. And then, I was just selling my butters on the side, at that time while I was still working. I was working at an international language school at that time, doing some private work. And then I got laid off from that job. Right. And so when I got laid off from there, that's when, and I was still a single mom at the time. That's when I decided, hey, I have to do something. I have to have some other income coming in. So I was doing some consulting work too. I had some students I was still working with, and then I was selling my products on the side.
So how long is this? I'm doing it on the side part. What's the term? Like a year, 2 years?
Yeah, I would say that was probably, it probably had to have been about 2 years, I think. 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. No, doing it on the side before I got laid off, you mean? Or like in the whole transition part?
Yeah, like so for total. So you started you had the job, then you got laid off, but you were still doing it on the side.
Yeah.
So then when you transitioned and said, no, I'm going to do this full time, that first doing it on the side was like a 2-year time frame?
Actually, it might have been, I think it was about 3 years. It's about 3 years, 2 to 3 years, right? Okay. Yeah. And then, I had some help from my brother, with the family member, my support, and he was like, you know what, you could really have an amazing, $1 million business if you wanted to Camilia. Why don't you just focus on your business? I'll help you get that LLC, and then, go from there, right?
Come on, brother, come through.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I did not know that part. Okay, hold on. Let me go get this thing because I don't want to interrupt, but just in case. This is what happens when I go on vacation. I'm used to having everything set up completely, and you go on vacation and you forget to put your charger thing back into the thing, and then it's like, okay, okay, so your brother said you could have $1 million business. You could do some stuff. He said he would help. Did he help like work-wise, money-wise? How did that work out?
Well, he helped out both, work-wise and money-wise. So with the money-wise was just really, helping to get that initial startup of getting the LLC, right? Okay. And then also, he helped out money-wise by me not being able to pay a lot of my rent too, at that time. And I was actually paying rent to my father. Okay. So anyway, that's another story. We're not even going to go there.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah, let's not go there. But anyway, so, he helped me because I wasn't married at the time. I was single, 2 kids, laid off doing private work, and then still, and then, I also went ahead and, I took initiative to start looking at different things in the community to see how I can, And this is one thing he also mentioned too, do your research and look at what you can do in your surrounding areas and spread a bit too, right? And I actually met you at, what was it? I remember first seeing you, I think it was like at the library. I went to see, I think it was like 2015,
Yes.
when you were teaching a class there. So, and it was through the Small Business Association, right? I think so.
Yep.
So yeah, it was ever since then. And then, you know, you were just so inspiring. You still are. So you are, you know, you are amazing, girl. I tell you.
I love it. Oh, look, but I always ask somebody, like, how did we meet? Because sometimes I can remember, I was thinking it was Nussbaum Center, but I knew it was through the Small Business Center in some way, shape, or form. So, but the library classes, part of me misses them because they used to always be so nice and big and filled with people with all these wonderful dreams and stuff. And then the other part of me is like COVID.
Yes.
But I do miss that interaction. And I think when people, you know, come to things in real life, I do think it impacts them a little bit differently. And I don't know, maybe it's different now because in a lot of ways you don't have a choice, but making that commitment to come out, which classes then were like Tuesday nights in 2015, you know, every week to say, I'm going to come out to class, like that's a big thing. But I'm glad that you did. So then after that, what happened?
Yeah. So after that, you know, I started, like I said, looking into other little classes, different, community things that could help me, like such as the Passion and Purse program through the Y. You know, I heard about it from a cousin of mine, and she was like, hey, you know, this might be something that could be really useful for your business since you want to start it. Why don't you, you know, try and see if you can get in? And, you know, I remember like couldn't get in contact with anybody, but I just rode by there and I said, you know what, I'm just going to see if somebody's there and I can get in somehow, you know, by filling out the application or whatever. Yeah. But like, I was just really, what do they call it? Guerrilla marketing myself and my business, you know? So going from, you know, I remember, you know, with my products, I wish I had the jars, but I first started with these black jars, black 2 ounce and 4 ounce, black 2 ounce and 4 ounce jars. Right. And I didn't realize that, you know, with using black jars that, you know, the heat, and with the heat from being out in the sun, you know, would mess up and melt the product, right? So just learning that trial and error. But I remember taking my jars, going down like Elm Street to going to Winston, going to different places, trying to get my brand in there somehow, you know? And so since I didn't really have much experience on the business side, so that's why I went in and took, you know, like I said, some of those classes and then did a lot of research on my own and reached out from there.
Now, one thing I can say, so I'm glad you just transitioned me right into some stuff that I wanted to ask anyway. I have personally seen your brand grow, but also change. And I'm going to be honest, you know, I've used you and Black Bolt Soap Company in plenty of presentations before. Like sometimes if I'm kind of showing people the differences in the marketing and saying both of these are successful companies, both of these are women-owned companies, both of these are Black-owned companies, both of them are right here in the Triad, and their brands are totally, completely different, right? It does not look the same. And it's like, and essentially, you know, when we think skincare, I mean, essentially at the base of it, yes, you can be selling the same thing, but it's enough room for everybody to grow and do what they need to do. And to me, you two companies and women are some of the most, what do I want to say, respectful, complimentary, just like, it just seems like what you would want in business when you say like healthy competition. The two of that, I don't know about anybody else, just the two of y'all do an awesome job. So I just want to say that. But your brands are so totally different because you don't do black. All of your stuff is really bright colors. So, you know, I'm here for all.
I love it.
What made you change, aside from the sun, right, to change your branding and to do your marketing and to be really colorful with it?
Well, I've always loved colors too. You know, a lot of people think that because, you know, if you're a covered Muslim, that you got to wear all black or, these things. And
Yeah.
I mean, I love black, yes, of course, but I love color in general, I mean, my logo is a peacock, right? So the peacock's feathers, the peacock it's a male, but he's so beautiful and elegant, and graceful with those colors. So, and I think colors they help liven, any situation or any room,
You look, I'm like,
yeah, they're beautiful, and like I said, I love black, so that's why I chose to use all different colors in my brand, but not too much, but
it's such a beautiful, just a blend, and I mean, I love it. That's one of the things. Now, when you did upgrade, it costs to upgrade. And some people seem to want to be, okay, it's different when you don't have it to spend, because you get what you can and you start out with at least, what do we call the MVP, the minimal viable product.
Right.
But then when you see, okay, well, if I spend a little bit more, I might get a different customer. Have you noticed that because you improved your branding and you spent more, and I'm specifically more so talking about your boxes, because your boxes have color inside, outside, and they're completely branded. So if you were first starting to turn into a box, pull it in here. If you got one with you,
well, I didn't leave it out. I just didn't bring it out with me. I should have. I didn't bring it.
Yeah, it's okay. No, it's okay. They can look at the pictures on Instagram. But if you starting out, you can get a box, and then usually people put a label on it. And then you keep going and increasing. But yours, did you notice? Because what people seem to not realize is, even if they're getting that box, you got to pay for that box as the person that's presenting the product, plus the packaging that everything goes in. Then put that stuff in the box. And that's if you're just selling it one-on-one. But then if you're shipping it, then you need to put in another box, and then you need to ship that out.
Yeah.
So I would say, but have you noticed that shift in your customers once you change your marketing? Or do people say, oh, that looks so expensive, and then maybe they're surprised? You know what I mean? Like, that look makes it feel like, oh my God, it's so luxury.
Yeah. Well, I would say, both, because especially when I first started, when I first came out with the new brand, not new brand, but the new design that I had, because I went through so many different variations of, from my logo to the jars to the boxes. And it took time and money, and to my labels too. My labels are definitely, they're costly at first, especially, even now they're still somewhat costly, because I have to be able to purchase a good amount of them, like at least, bulk, like at least 1,000 or so to get really good prices, right? On that individual one. But, just because I did take the time out to do my research, I knew that I knew the market that I was trying to get, that niche customer, because like you said, both the Black Belt and I and other brands, we're different, right? And so I chose to be that way. I wanted to be different from those because, I wanted to make sure I had UPC codes, so that I can eventually get my products into Target or to, or some of these other locations. You know what I mean? So, I looked at that first, and then I wanted to be a brand of more of an experience for my customer, and have more of that holistic experience and more of a luxe upscale kind of company. That's what I wanted, right? And that's what I continue to do. And I have a new product line that's out too.
New product line. What is it?
Check the website. So the products are just all facial products. So they're masks, they're toners, they are hydrosol mist, and serums as well. And so that's actually a different line from the more colorful one. That one is more of a chic, more of like you can take a look at some of the pictures. I wish I had them up there, but it has like some blue and then gold, and it has a bit of gloss there. So it's a little different, It's not real colorful, but it's colorful,
But it stands out.
It stands out. It's different, So and all of that took time, and it did take money, of course. But, when I first started out, I had my Avery labels that I used to print at home,
Avery will come through in the clutch.
Yes.
But you know what I don't think that people realize? They do once they get into it. So anybody that's listening, if you're a new business and you're just trying to start up and you want to do this type of line, skincare things get wet. Which means if you don't have the right type of labels, all your little writing is just ran through or smudged up, and then we don't know where to go to order again. So having those labels that if a person is like touching things and their hands are wet, or you put it in the shower because of how you're using it, does make a difference whenever you're trying to do those products. So if you can't get, the right labels, then eventually it'll start to look crazy, really soon. So that is an important thing. But I want to touch on something that you said specifically, which was the UPC labels. There's a company, what is the name of it? Spice Sweet Spice. I don't know. Spice. She calls her stuff Spice Girls. Spice Girl, but I think it's the Spice Shop, and she's in DC, right? And they opened up pretty much like, it's not an incubator, but all of the different women who sell their products. So she had put out a thing and she was saying, well, look, we're looking for some more Spice Girls. So if you sell a product, as long as it's not competing with the other women that already have a product, then you could submit. But one of her requirements was that you had that barcode so that this way everything would be able to be rung up. So can you kind of explain to people the importance of having that? And I don't know if you mind sharing like costs, because one thing that they don't realize is for each product, you need a different barcode. So you can't have the same barcode for each thing. So, what was that process like? How long did that take you?
That process, it just took really a bit of research. My husband also helped me out with that too, was doing some of the research, and we came together on that. So I can't remember exactly the cost, and I can't remember the website, but I can send it to you so you can share it if you want later. But so that it took, like I said, not long, just a bit of research, and you can buy them in bulk, right? And so I forgot exactly how many you can get at a time, but having that UPC code helps so that, when it keeps helps you with your inventory, right? Keeps track of your SKUs, your SKU number, right? And so that tells you about that helps with the inventory. So once it's scanned at the store, then they're able to pull it up easily. You can also track, how many products are at this location because of that. So that's really what that's for. That individual product has a code, right? And the code. I don't have the bars at the back, right? So
I'm thinking, do I have anything that has one? But probably not. Everybody knows what it looks like, though. Whenever you go to the grocery store, you go and you scan the thing. That's the code. But if and I don't want to say bootlegging it, but I'll just say bootlegging it. If your goal is to get in a store and to be on shelves, you have to have that. So if you're thinking with the big goal in mind, then you need to make sure that you research it and that you also have the money to buy it at some point in time, because you're not going to be able to get into the big stores without having it.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. I can show you if you give me 1 second.
Okay, you're good.
Let's see. Yeah. So they're like this. You can see it. Yeah. It's kind of backwards, right?
Yeah, but
so, and I did this on purpose. I wanted to make sure that my product had made in the USA and Greensboro, North Carolina, and then you have the code right there, right? So it's locally owned, right? And then it's, I have my code there, so people can support me. And also, I think I got my website there too. And at one time I had, this is a second iteration as well, because I also had, I had the QR code there, but I took it off. I took that off. Yeah. So.
Okay. Now, what made you take the QR code off? Was it just a spacing or size?
No, I think it was, I just felt like people weren't using it anymore, and now it seems like people are using it more.
Super bad. So, yes, but it was necessity that, because you remember, what was it, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, QR codes were the hot thing, the new thing.
Yes,
And then it
that's
kind of went off. And then now you can't go anywhere without seeing a QR code. And that makes a huge difference now. But I mean, they can still go to the website. It's not like you don't have that there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Do you find that having the Made in the USA and specifically Greensboro, North Carolina has been helpful? Have people like noticed that or paid attention to it?
I think so, definitely so, because people love, especially, using locally made products if you're wherever you are, right? And then even having like the USA part is good too, because a lot of the big box brands, they're getting their products made in, in Asia or Mexico or whatever, right? Yeah. So, having it that it's, you know what I mean?
I'm making up words, right? This is made in Williston. Where's that at? I don't know. But I think personally that is a good touch. I think it's a smart thing to do, because I'm one of those people. I'm just going to be honest with you. When I find out that a person is local, when I find out that they went to school here or something like that, all of that stuff just makes me more excited and makes me want to spend with that person, because I feel like there's more of a connection. And I'm one of those people, I call them the little chocolates. I get excited when spending for the little chocolates. They be in there dancing and stuff, and they be like, we're making money with a small business. Like, I think that's the exciting part to it. And then when people do reviews or they do testimonials, and it sends it back, it gives them that connection that maybe they wouldn't have had with another product.
Right, exactly.
I love it. Now, question, and I've always wanted to ask you this. I don't think I've asked you this before at all, but you are actually the second Muslim woman that we've actually had. Oh, no, you are the third. I had to get it together.
Okay,
you
cool.
are the third Muslim woman that we have had on this show.
Okay.
And I always want to know, if people have a heavy religious presence in their business, sometimes people feel like it could detract from it. But when you are a Muslim woman and you are full garb hijab, it's kind of like, okay, I feel like it's more authentic, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to spending with somebody that's just like over there selling the same kind of thing in a lot of ways. Do you think that that's been a help, or do you think it's been a hindrance with some people, as far as your business goes?
Wow.
And it may be a tricky question, but, it's one of those things where we have to look at, now we got to look at gender and pronouns, and religion was always there. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, it really depends on the situation, because I've had several of those things happen, to me, whether, they're good and bad. And it also depends on where I'm at that time, so whether it's social media or if I'm out at a show, right? Which now I haven't been able to do any shows, but now they're coming back slowly. It really depends. So I've had it all, I remember going to this one. Well, I mean, I think like I haven't noticed much on social media too much of like a hindrance for my brand. Like as far as anybody leaving any hate remarks or anything like that.
That's great. Love it.
Yeah. Thankfully I haven't. Not that I know of, right? Just a bunch of spam sometimes.
That's true.
But then, just going out to different places. Like I remember I really wanted to get into this show, this Southern Christmas show. And I heard about it a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh, people are saying it's so great. They did so well. No, it's in Charlotte. In Charlotte.
Okay, because I was like, I know they have one that's in High Point, similar to that name, and then it's something similar at the Coliseum. So this one's in Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah, this is in Charlotte. It was so huge. I heard so many great things about it. I forgot how many days. I think it was like maybe almost a week. Yeah, I think it's week long, right? In Charlotte. And so that, I was like, okay, I could really make some pretty good money here, really get my brand out to different people, because they're coming from, all over, but mostly they're coming from like the Appalachians and then from like South Carolina and Georgia coming all up. So mostly like on this East Coast type thing. And I was like, okay, let me try it out. Do you know, I was like, I hardly had, my booth was just beautiful. My display was so nice, so appealing, so appealing. But I mean, I just never felt that type of, not animosity, but people having animosity towards me. Oh, and of course, this is also Trump's time too. So this is 2019. And I mean, it was just awful. It was terrible. I never felt that.
I don't have. That's all I can
do. Girl, I mean, it's crazy. I never felt that before. And, you know, never at a show. Well, I have at some shows, but the way this was, it was just like, ignore. And I was like, hold on, what in the world? You know, and I just knew it had to be because of my hijab, right? Because I'm covered, right? And then, so I said, okay, let me try, you know, the next day I came, let me just wrap it in a turban style. Maybe that might be different. Not really, not at all. Because I still have, you know, I have that multicultural look because of my background, right? But then I was like, okay, I told my husband, he's Kenyan, right? So I said, well, why don't you do it? And he ended up making more sales than me. And I was like, what the heck? So I knew that it had something to do with that, you know.
It was,
but I still, you know, I stuck it out. I went the entire time. I talked to other vendors and they didn't really have a problem, you know, other vendors of colors. But I was like, it's okay. You know, it's just not my market. You know, it's not my audience.
Because, girl, we vended, because anybody that doesn't know, when I started my business, I started vending, making jewelry. My husband and I went to, I don't know, it was down toward the Lexington area in North Carolina. Wherever we went to this annual event that everybody said was so big. We got there, we set up, and we kind of knew it was not right when we saw the people across from our tent, because we had a tent then, right, with the humongous Confederate flag. And we did, that was out of all of the years that I vended, that was the only event we did not make hardly any money. I mean, we made some and we made back our vendor thing, but we didn't make what we should have made based on the quality of what I had, the price points, and just based on previous experiences and then experiences after that. But we were like really the only Black people that were there. You know, I'm a little chocolate drop here, a little caramel drop, you know, but they did not care. Them little chocolate face did not care. They did not care that. And that was the most and it wasn't that people weren't nice, but
uncomfortable.
It was the kind of people that were there. So now I need to kind of then transition to this question, which is really, how do you choose the locations that you're going to be at? Because I know for a fact, based on the quality that you have, the price points that your things are at, you'll have somebody that's like, I'm not paying that much for soap. I could use some ivory. I could use some Irish.
Dove.
You go ahead and not some Dove. You go ahead and use some Dove. And you go ahead and you get that, but it's like, no, this is the quality. And my next question, I know what the next question is going to be anyway, but I just want to know about you specifically choosing the locations, because a lot of people may not know, but you did one of the things that I wish I would have went to before COVID, and you did Essence. And
I was about to tell you about that.
You did Essence. I was like,
oh my gosh, that was wow.
That was like amazing to me.
Yes. And all of this was in 2019. I mean, there's so many things happened in 2019.
And when I'm telling you, we were going to go that year.
Oh, really? Wow.
I wish we had went. If we knew that COVID was going to come through and crush everything the next year, we wouldn't have. But it's like hindsight, you just kept feeling like, okay, it's going to be another one. It's going to be another one. And so you can go later. And I wish I would have went. But how do you choose the events that you go to, because you can't go to somebody just told you, oh, we having a pop-up shop, let's just put our stuff here, because you know that your customer could be there, but more than likely the person that's going to spend more money is not going to be at that place.
Right. Yeah. And at first, I did do that. I did start to, I went to these little things that I thought, okay, well, this might be good for me. I could possibly get some more sales, but then I could get my brand out there more, right? So I did it kind of strategically. I'm still doing it strategically. Of course, you have to, but I did at first to just get my brand out there and to just try and make some money, right? So, and then I decided, okay, I wanted to look up locations that I could have that I knew my target market was going to be at, right? So that niche market. And then, also at the same time, I'm still trying to get my brand out there more too. So that's why, I would do like the Fun Forest, or, I'm still going to do the,
things.
I didn't do that. I didn't have anybody this year, but anyway, I did also the folk festival, and that's coming up again. That's going to be in person. And so I wanted to, at first I did these small ones to get my brand out there a little bit more, get the customers. And then, I said, okay, I'm going to do, a little bit bigger local shows, so that I can people know that, hey, you're still here. I don't have brick and mortar, right? So I'm strictly e-commerce business. So it's important for me to get my brand out there, right? And then, after, actually I wanted this year, my plan was to last year, my plan was to just only go to bigger shows and just do little small ones that people remember, like the folk festival and things like that, right? Yeah. And then, just go to like trade shows, like the NY Now and different things like that. So, and then of course, Essence, right? So that was my plan, but, then COVID hit and everything. So I worked on revamping my website. So I have a new website that's, we can go into that later, but it's an awesome, amazing, beautiful site that's easy to navigate. My other one was good too, but this one, I wanted it to be focused more on my customers and more perks and everything for them, right? So, now I want to continue to do more bigger shows if possible when they come up. So I just thought about it strategically like that. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, it did. Now, one of the differences, though, when you do those bigger shows, they come with a bigger fee. So a lot of times I think people will pick the events that they're going to do based on the price point of them as far as the vendor fee. And I understand that you have to do that because you have to come out of that, out of pocket before you do anything else. I found that some of the small cutesy events I've made plenty of money at. And then some of the big ones I've made money at, because I remember one year I worked myself to death doing homecoming tea. And this is oh my God.
I had no idea, Chisa. I didn't know you were venting.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. This is why I am the way I am, because that hustler, get it, go get it mentality. I've always had that. So when we did homecoming for A&T, it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have never been so tired as doing that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Because I did that as well.
Understaffed looks like and overworked. And we made a killing that weekend. But I worked for every dollar that I got.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was important to me to pay more, because I knew that the type of people I was looking for would be at homecoming for A&T. And I chose the Corey Convention Center because this was before, when everything was open, it was an older demographic. And I know older women are definitely my demographic, because they're like, girl, let me get one more. How much is that?
Yeah, so, exactly.
That fee, though, for some people is daunting.
Yeah, the fee, and then also, when you're outside, you also got to deal with the elements too, right? So that's why, this year, yes. So I've dealt with that, with rain, with tents flying, everything, at Aggie Fest, at other events, and so that, it just changes your mindset too. You're like, man, I can't do this anymore. The money it's okay, but is it worth me staying out here in the cold? And sometimes it is, to continue to get your brand out there and get those sales, but other times it's not. So say if I do Aggie Fest this year, I definitely want to try and do the alumni show, right? The alumni ones, if they have it.
You need those,
if they have it.
Grandmas.
Yes.
Grandmas. That is my favorite demographic.
Yeah.
Grandmas have that extra money to spend. Grandmas have friends with extra money to spend. You can talk a grandma into getting a gift, and especially with that homecoming thing, girl, it's right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. Oh, it's nothing like a good grandma with extra money to spend who got a daughter or a son and 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 grandkids, and then she'll buy something and she just wants to treat herself. Oh, good grandmas. I love it.
Yeah. And grandmas aren't the typical grandmas, so a lot of our grandmas are very young too.
Jasmine.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, grandmas are like 30 years old. Okay, but I like the older grandmas, but so with that comes also, and tell me how important you feel like this is, because I am one of these people that, you've been to my events. I want to publicize the fact that I have exhibitors and who they are in advance of the event. I will not take exhibitors the week of the events.
Yes, that's why I love working with you.
Because that bothers my nerves. How am I going to get the most benefit if the event is next week and I just pay you my fee? And how am I going to get the most benefit publicity-wise? Because I did one event that I paid my vendor fee, and the people that came to the event said they didn't even know vendors were going to be there. So they didn't bring money for vendors. Right. That right there burned me up. When I'm telling you, and it's somebody local too, girl. I'll tell you who it is.
Oh my God.
Never do another one of your events again.
Yeah.
But how important is it that whoever is hosting the event does take the effort to promote you as a vendor, because you're spending your time and your money and your energy and putting your products out there on display?
Yes, that is very important. I mean, you definitely have to, that goes back to your research too, your marketing research that you have to do as well. You got to go on Instagram, on Facebook, ask people, how this event was before, where they promoted, and look at their pages. What are they using on their page? What have they posted? And if you see that they're not really into it, then, hey, you have to weigh that decision. Is this something you really want to do? I was so happy when Essence put one post about me. I was like, okay, this is great. Oh my God, I'm with the big dogs now.
Yes. And that's why you don't even know. I was so excited for you. And your pictures came out great. I'm telling you, I looked at everything. Because I felt like that's one of those platforms where you don't know what could happen. And more than likely, somebody's celebrity is going to roll through and get some stuff. Oh my gosh. And you could get so many other opportunities to be in so many different things. And the fact that they post you also means that people that aren't there can still see you, and then they can still connect to you. Did you get like a big jump in following or anything like after you did it?
I don't know too much about the following. Maybe I did. I couldn't really tell, but I know I still have sales from there. I even have sales from people that are in New Orleans, from California, everywhere. And then, even during the pandemic, they were like, they'll send me messages. Oh, I'm so glad I found you at Essence and da-da-da. I had people that were in the UK that came down just for the Essence Festival. And they were like, hey, can I purchase from you? And I was like, oh, not yet. But soon you'll be able to, purchase online when they go back home. And I was like, not yet, but soon, you'll be able to, right?
Did you just say, hold up, so you didn't have the online part when you went to Essence?
No, I did have it online, but I didn't have like the international buying at that part.
Oh, international.
International. I had to have that. No. No. I actually created my website by myself using Weebly, just drag and drop. And I had that for about 5 years, and then just recently just went into having the new revamped website, Shopify site. So,
okay, so it's on Shopify, because I was about to ask that. It's on Shopify.
Yeah, now it's on Shopify.
How are you liking it? Because a lot of people, and I've been telling people, like, if you're going to have a product-based business, you have to pay for Shopify up front, but the connectivity to me seems worth it.
Well, you have to pay for it. You pay monthly, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Up front, yeah. So, I mean, so far I've only had it I haven't even really launched, told everyone about it. It's kind of like a soft launch or whatever. Haven't made a big announcement, only on my newsletter people. But yeah, I've had it for about 3 months now. And so it seems to be pretty good, seamless for people to use. I hired 2 people to help me, and one ghosted me, and then the other person didn't really do a good job at all. So my husband, he actually went in and just did a little Google University, YouTube University, and we worked together on it. So that really helped, So make sure y'all check it out. NylaShe.com.
Look at God. God said, listen, you get on those, you don't work out. And then I'm going to show this beautiful couple how to do it themselves, and they'll have the knowledge. And that's what, come on, God. Come on, work through it.
Exactly.
Don't you think those things happen for a reason? Because you would have just let somebody else do it, but now both of you know how to do it.
Right, yeah. Exactly, yeah. So far, like I said, it seems to be pretty good, I don't have any problems. I'm still trying to learn more about it, unlike when I was using Weebly, it was so much easier, but Shopify is way more advanced, but but it'll come together.
Yeah. I mean, are you making money? Are you still getting sales?
Oh, yeah.
That's you can work out all the rest of that afterwards. But I know they have a lot of features that some of the other ones may not have, or, that are comparable to some of the big ones. So I would say, do it and make it work. And another question. So your products also, specifically with them being on Shopify, are you also using the feature as far as having like the Facebook shops and being able to let people purchase inside of Instagram?
Yeah, I am doing that. But I found out that there is an extra fee if you want to purchase, if you want to purchase directly from Instagram without having to leave the site. So that's an extra fee there. But I do have my shop, but then that's a whole other thing too, because like with Facebook, some of the products, they won't show up because they say you don't, maybe you're using some type of terminology that is against Facebook, so then they won't post they won't upload all of your products there. So I don't have all the products there. I have some, but if people really want to, get my product, then they'll go to the website easily, And also that's why creating that Google business page has helped a lot too.
Every day
it's amazing.
I just taught a class and I keep telling everybody, create your Google My Business. It is free. And for what I know you're getting ready to say, you can put your products right there on Google and they can click and they can make a purchase. And it's like, it's free. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think maybe, I'm not sure if you can put the products and then they can click and buy it without paying a fee. Oh, I didn't know that.
Because
I know
what
you can
happens, like I have my book up there. So if you have the product, when they click, they'll see how much it is and it'll take them to where they can actually make the purchase.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Then would be back to your website. So it's not like it's going through Google per se, but it's like Google is like, hey, Camilia's got this product up here. It's for sale. This is how much it is. And this is what the description is. And do you want to buy it? And you click through and then you go to wherever you can make the purchase and you're not spending any money, right? And
definitely. And then having the reviews there, having your reviews helps to bring your SEOs, your search engine optimizations up. So, now right now, if you Google shea butter in Greensboro, you're going to see NylaShe.
First of all, you better tell them to Google you and get that shea butter. Now,
seriously.
Okay, I wasn't even thinking about this question, but since you said it, a lot of times I talk about what you want to name your business and naming it something that's there for longevity and not trendy. So what made you come up with NylaShe? And I know you've answered this in things that I've done before, but they haven't heard it on here. What made you do NylaShe? And do you ever see change in it? Or do you just think you're probably going to leave it the same because you sell more than that product wise, but do you want to keep with the brand? So that's like 2 questions in one. What made you start doing it? And do you ever see change in it?
Yeah. So I wanted that name because it fit, the Nyla Shay. And Nyla is my daughter's name. And so I have a daughter named Nyla, and then my son is Nasir. And so Nyla in Arabic, it means acquirer or one who succeeds, right? So I said, okay, this is powerful. Because even when I name my kids, and I tell people, you got to know what you're, you got to know the meaning of what you're naming your child, right? And so that's what I wanted to have. My business is my child. That's my baby, right? So it had to have a powerful meaning, and it had to be relevant to my product too. So I have Nyla's, and then Shea as in shea butter, because shea butter is basically the base of almost all my products, right? So that's why I did it because of that. And then people were like, why didn't you name it Nasir Shea? And I was like, he's still a part. That was a sound, right? Yeah, it's a masculine name. And then also, I tell them when they kind of would rival when they were younger about it, and she still does it now. Nyla would say, my name is on everything and da-da-da. And I was like, okay, but you got to be humble about it, right? And I said, you have to be humble, and you have to realize that this is a family brand. It's a family. We're growing a family empire here, right? And so, one day I would love for you guys to be able to take over. And so I had them helping me do little things together. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you. And what was the second question?
That's where the legacy comes in. That's where the legacy portion comes in. So based on that, you really technically answered the next question, which was, do you see changing it? Because a lot of times people will change the name as it evolves, as something does, whatever. And because they add in more products. But I just personally think it's a great name. And
thank you.
Like you said, it's the base and the foundation of what you sell overall. So you probably will never change it.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I thought about that a lot. People would ask me that, and I just said, nah, because, when I think about it, one who succeeds or an acquirer, acquiring knowledge, and just that's how I look at it. And so I feel like if I might have like an umbrella of something or like a line that has, a more luxe line, but I'm not going to change the name in general. I'm
going to need Nasir to get something though. So it's a men's line.
Yeah, I'm working on a men's line. I'm working on it.
Nasir cannot go through his whole life and not have.
Yeah, maybe I might have one product that has like his name up there, but we'll see.
Please, I don't want you to go through life and him be sad the whole time because he never has his name.
He's not like that.
Oh goodness!
You're like, okay, Mom, it's all right.
I mean, is he living? Is he breathing? Is he making things work? So, all of that. Now, when we talk about the idea of legacy and you saying you want to pass it on to the kids, some people can't get their kids to work. Some people can't get their kids motivated to do anything. But how do you get your kids interested in business and definitely seeing that, this is something that we do that provides for us? How do you get them to have, let's just say, pride in what you're bringing to the table? Because you have some kids that, their parents could be making $1 million and they care nothing about what's going on. But how do you get them to embrace the business and want to be a part of it and then hopefully be able to take over?
Yeah. Well, that starts from the beginning, from really basically having them do things, little things, whether it's putting, one label on something or counting some money or writing down your inventory. If you don't have your POS system together at that time, starting off, just carrying them with you, and then carrying them with you, having them to do things for you and getting them to see, because when they're seeing these things and they're picking up, like even now, sometimes I would struggle with it. I say, okay, well, they don't like the business. They don't even want to do anything. And my daughter, she loves bath and body work sometimes. I'm like, okay, she's at that age. She's 13. All right, that's fine. But then you love that your name is on everything.
Back in the day. That came from a balance. And now I'm just like, I am not going back.
Yeah, but anyway, so she'll learn. She'll learn, but they see me doing it, and they are out there when I was out there doing things, and still for this time, they're out there when I am out there, doing things. And if not, I have a home studio. I still make my product, here in the location, unless I have like a huge order, and then I'll go, to another location. But I'm able to do everything in my area, my space. So they see me, they see the struggle, they see me up late at night, you know, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? I'm fulfilling orders, or they ask, can I help sometimes? But just letting them see it and experience it, I think like in the long run, as Muslims, as we say, inshallah, God willing, that they'll know, you know, they'll remember this. I talked to some of my friends one good friend in particular, her parents they grew up in the Nation of Islam, right? And so then they transitioned to Sunni Islam, but they, you know, grew up in the 60s and 70s, and they remember their parents having, they grew up in the 80s, but they remember their parents having shops and starting schools and things like that. And then also I remember my dad had us making jewelry and making little things, because he would buy these little malachites and different ebony pieces, and we would make them and help them sell them too, you know. So just remembering these things, I think the kids will, you know, remember them in the future and want to do more. Even if they don't want to get into business in general, they'll have that skill there, right? So they're learning different skills, customer service skills, communication skills, right? Management, time management skills. So
Now I have to ask this question because people say soap and they don't realize how long it takes for you to actually make a bar of soap. So can you just give us a time frame from like, okay, this is the soap I want to make. Here's the ingredients. Let's put it in the molds. How long it takes to, what's the word I'm supposed to use? To
saponify and to solidify. Saponify.
Okay, because I knew I was going to, that's why I'm
cure.
Like, cure. That's the word, because I'm like, kiln is coming in my mind, but kiln is like pottery. So how long does it take to cure, saponify? How long? Because, okay, here's everything. I put it together. All right, we got it. How long does it take to cure so that you have a bar of soap?
Yeah, so the curing process, to make the soap is, it could be like an hour or 2 hours, depending on how the temperatures of your oils and then your lye water solution, right? And so the curing process is when the lye and the water they evaporate out, and you're just left with the oils from the natural skin-loving oils for your skin. That takes probably anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So the longer the bar, the bar sits and cures, the harder the bar will be, depending on the bar and the ingredients that's being used. If you're using like milk-based and things like that, then it might not last as long. But others will last a good amount, but definitely not as long as Dove or Dial or anything like that. So, you know, it's the time that goes into it, to making it, that really, you know, we're putting our love into that, right? And so it takes a while. And that's why my bar is, you know, $9 as opposed to like, you know, $3 for 6 soaps. So, yeah. And the ingredients you use, of course.
I needed you to say that. You know why? Because people need to understand how long it takes so that they understand the value that's put into it. They also need to understand your time management has to be impeccable, because you're talking about 4 to 6 weeks, which is a month to a month and a half. So if you know that you have a show at a certain time, you have to spend your money, you have to make everything, and then sit there and look at the soap like, y'all saponifying.
Curing.
And y'all curing. And then you finally get a product that you can then sell to somebody. So, you know, that time frame, you have a month at a minimum to where you can't even do anything with it, and it's there doing its job so that it can become a finalized product. So that's an important thing when it comes to that. And if you're making everything by hand like you are, you just have 1 to 2 hours, and then you have another month to a month and a half before the product is actually, you know, ready to go out to people.
And it's definitely important, and especially when you're providing your products to retail locations, right? So I just I'm so happy for it, and I hope to be able to get more, inshallah, God willing. Is I got a contract with the Durham the Durham Hotel, right? So it's a partnership with co-partnering with Fillery and Zero Waste refillable liquid brand, but then we're working with the Durham Hotel. So that's like 700 bars every month that I'm making. And they're totally different size. Yes. They're different size, a different brand. You know, I'm putting my branding there. I'm stamping it, which I don't stamp anything. So I had to like really, and there every month I'm giving them. So I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to do this seamlessly or make it as time efficient as I can, right? And that took some planning, a whole lot of planning. I went from creating a new recipe for them too, a specific recipe just solely Nyla shades, and then a different, soap. So I wasn't used to the molds that I was using.
700. Okay, first of all, I saw it, right? Because that's a picture with you and all the ladies, and y'all are all nice and bright and colorful and stuff. I saw the picture. I knew that. I was like, oh, go girl, get it, right? 700 bars for one location, and that does not include all the other locations that you are in.
Right, yeah.
And it doesn't include what you need to have on hand in case somebody places an order and you need to send it. Okay.
So this is practice for me. What did you say?
You blew my mind just now. Okay.
Yeah,
what do you think total that you're producing on a monthly basis, like as far as total bars?
Man, I don't know.
My mouth is open. I can't even close my mouth.
I would say at least, gotta be at least, I would say at least maybe 900. 8 to 9, maybe something like that. Yeah, including those, of course.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you have no downtime, do you?
Well, I try and make time. I'm trying to incorporate self-care. I am doing my own social media and everything on my own. Hopefully, I need to schedule that out. That's been so much going on, but I've had other projects that I was working on I hadn't had a chance to do or finish doing. But that's where that self-care comes in. You can't do everything, right? So you got to realize, hey, you got to take time for yourself. Your mental health is important and very important, because how are you going to take care of your family if you can't take care of yourself? How are you going to take care of your business if you don't take care of yourself? So if I'm not able to post every day, if I'm not able to sometimes fulfill my products all the time, or every day I have to have a schedule out, then I just have to do that, because if not, I'm just going to break down, No,
you are. But listen, you're not going to break down, because I give a prophecy every time I do one of these. So I prophesy that you are going to have somebody to help you with the social media. I prophesy that you're going to probably be doing, I'm going to come up with a number, at least 1,500 bars.
Okay.
March of next year. 1,500 came into my mind.
Yes.
I don't know who else you're going to sell them to, but that's what's going to happen.
All right.
And you will have the help that you need, because what you need is reliable people that understand the care that you have and the type of customer. And you're going to get into some major events. Like all of that's going to happen. So that's what I'm being given right now.
Okay.
All of that.
Yes. Thank you.
I am amazed. Who would have known that it's that many bars? But you are one of those people that I look up to, as far as I know the type. How do I want to say this? The type of business that you have requires manual labor. Yeah. And even when you don't want to do it, when that order comes through, it has to be made and it needs to be shipped out.
It does.
So it's a different beast when you have products that you make. You can just buy some stuff and resell it, but that is not the same thing. And people do not understand when you make your stuff. That handcrafted, bespoke, artisan product that you're getting is you getting a little piece of everybody, of that person when they're making it. So
it's my love, my all.
Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
That. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. And if I if I just, get overworked, or if I just feel like anxiety, how can I put all my love into my product, right? So that's why I'm always promoting self-care, even if sometimes it's hard for me to do it, but we got to, even if it's just going for a walk for 15 minutes or something, just getting out in nature, which I love, that helps, and just stepping away and then coming back. So that's sanity.
So tell people how they can reach you.
All right. Well, you're on IG. You can reach me on IG. There's a link in my bio, Nyla Shea. You can get to my all my social media links, YouTube, NylaShea.com, Facebook, all that. It's in the link in my bio. So NylaShea.com. If you forget NylaShea.com, then it's just Google Nyla Shea. That's how you can reach me.
I can tell you one more time to Google her. Stop playing. Stop playing about these.
Yeah. And also, I'm still local. I still do some local things. I started going back to our local farmers market, to the Greensburg Herb Market.
I was going to ask you about the farmers market, but it slipped my mind. So you are back.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm back there. I'm not as consistent as I was, before the pandemic, but probably about the third week, maybe the second week in August. The third week in August, I'll be there more consistent, just to continue. I mean, that's where I get a lot of my feedback from my customers about my new products, about, pricing too. I went there with my new pricing and I thought, okay, people might be shunned because I'm selling $9 soaps as opposed to $8 soaps, but they're still there. You know what I mean? So it's just a good test. Yeah, I'll be there this Saturday too, from 8 until 11:30.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you. I'm excited and I'm enthused. And I hope anybody, if you're watching on the replay, make sure that you share it. I'm going to make sure that it's shared inside the Instagram stories. We're also going to put it up on YouTube, and then you'll be able to hear the podcast, all of that, because we like to spread joy and just love. We give it to the people. So I would like to thank you so much for coming on tonight, sharing your time.
Welcome.
And I just appreciate it. And I hope everybody appreciates all the work ethic and everything that is put into your brand, because it's marvelous. So thank you so much for being on.
Much.
And at the
Thank
end,
you for having me.
Yes,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. So at the end, I like to tell everybody, make sure that you show up and show out and continue to give it to the people. Good night, guys.
Yeah, good night. Peace. Thanks.
Thank you so much for listening to Give It to the People Radio. Make sure that you follow us online at ladybusiness.com, LadyBizness. We look forward to helping you grow, sustain, and maintain your business.